everybody. Brent Kluge with 203kworld.com coming to you with a new segment on 203K issues, problems, and pain points. So what I call the 3 Ps, problems and pain points. What's the truth about 203Ks? Well, they're a great loan, but clearly they're difficult. So they come with some issues, and I'm going to share with you what they are now so you can be armed with the knowledge of these issues, and proper expectations are set up front. 203Ks. What is, right away, one of the biggest issues that come with it? It's an FHA loan. So by definition, it comes with mortgage insurance. You could buy a house for 50 cents on the dollar as a foreclosure and only put a little bit of money into it and make $200,000 in equity. It doesn't matter. You're still going to have to pay mortgage insurance. What is mortgage insurance? That's money that's paid to insure the loan in case you default it. It's paid to HUD. It doesn't go to your lender or your loan officer. It goes to HUD. It's paid in two ways. Upfront mortgage insurance, by and large, there's a few caveats, is 1%. UFMIP, upfront mortgage insurance premium. 1% of your loan amount. So that's purchase price plus your renovations. The other way it's paid is monthly, in your monthly payment. Now, recently it was changed. So it was reduced down to 1%, and the monthly amount is 0.009 divided by 12. Getting a little technical, but 009 annually, 12 payments, so divided by 12. That's your monthly mortgage insurance. So it can be pretty costly. That money is gone. You don't get anything for it. So it's a bit of a drawback, especially when you have a lot of equity. I'm going to have another segment that talks about a two-step program on your loans. Most of the Ks that my clients are doing right now, they're buying the place properly and they have the equity position when they're done. So we utilize the 203K as a two-step process. It's the greatest loan out there right now to buy a house as is, that's in rough shape, that is completely vandalized or damaged, or wasn't weatherized, and you have broken pipes or mold or you name it. Best loan to utilize right now. Buy the place, fix it up, make it your own. Use the 203K to do that, and then go to a conventional refinance. So we'll go into that look for that in a different segment. But mortgage insurance, one of the biggest issues. The other thing is that 203Ks are very complex. I've been doing 203Ks for 16 years. I know them upside down and backwards. The issue is that because of the inventory of foreclosures and short sales, everybody and their brother says that they know 203Ks, and everyone wants to try and do them. Well, not everyone knows how to do them. It's more important, as I said, to set expectations up front and educate, and this is the way that I and my entire department operate. Educate our clients so that they know what to expect in the next phase, and even a cursory knowledge of the macro perspective of the entire process right from the beginning. So complexity, they are very complex. 203Ks have a lot of working parts, lots of people. It's more than just the buyer, the seller, and the lender and the title company. There are so many working parts that go into them that they are a logistical nightmare, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Folks that are reactive instead of proactive get lost and drown in the complexity. So it's important. Make sure your lender knows what they're doing. I have inherited many files from customers, from banks and other mortgage lenders, and even some brokers that were trying to get the loan done for their clients, and they've been with them for 2, 3, 4, one recently in DC, 6 months. I just cannot believe it. A lot of time, money, energy, effort, a lot of faith in the seller with you coming with a 203K contract is lost. So really important to ensure that your lender knows what they're doing with the 203K to avoid the complexity. One of the other points as to why it's so difficult is that there are multiple eyes that are required throughout the process. What does this mean? It means with a 203K, we can start off in the beginning and set our plan. And we have a really good idea as to what that plan is going to be. So we set the idea, We say that, we're going to renovate the house, we're going to buy it for X, and we think the renovation is going to be about this much. 203K consultant, for instance, goes in and says, this is what it's going to be. Or perhaps you had a home inspection and hey, here's a good look, snapshot of the condition of the property and what needs to be fixed. So you think you have a pretty good idea. Ultimately, there's another set of eyes. 203K consultant comes in, adds a few things, takes a few things away. New plan. We finalize that. Now you talk to the lender. The lender says, well, you can't do it that way. You can't include this. You can't include that. Plan changes again. Now you go to specialty sort of inspectors, like termite inspection results come back, or pest, or your well and your septic. Engineering inspection. Maybe you need a structural engineer in there. Maybe you bring in some specialty mechanical inspections like HVAC, plumbers, or electric. And now they come in and look through and say, wow, now we didn't know this, but the HVAC needs to be replaced. I mean, there are so many working parts that it is a work in progress until you have crossed the finish line. It's just the nature of the loan. Then you think you have your project all worked out, and we submit it to an underwriter. I'm sorry, before we go to an underwriter, to an appraiser. Now an appraiser goes out and he has his own eyes of minimum property standards and required repairs. Now maybe the appraiser comes back and says, yeah, I understand the project, everything looks good, but you missed this little handrail or this little thing. Now we have to go back and change the plans and specs again and add these pieces. Then it goes to an underwriter. And now an underwriter may turn around and say, wow, it looks good, but I think this is too much, or it's just a lot of eyes. What does that mean to you? Be afraid of it? Stay away from it? No. Just ensure that you're working with someone that can walk you through the process properly and avoid these pitfalls. This right here is how 203Ks get a bad name, because so many times lenders try to do this, and they are reactionary and they drown in not knowing what the next step is. So many complex moving parts, many sets of eyes that all have say in how the project moves forward. Adds to the complexity and one of the major issues. What is the major issues with 203Ks right now? The biggest pain point is draws. You will find right now, today is January the 30th of 2011. For the last year, the largest pain point with 203Ks is we settle, you start the work. Now remember, streamline Ks, typically you get 50% of your construction amount at the settlement table. A little bit different here. Full Ks, the work has to begin. Once you do enough work to get a draw, you submit for a draw, and then you submit your draw request to whoever ultimately has bought the loan. Right now, it's only a few of the major players, the big banks. They are inundated. Now, the loan has to be sold from your lender. That usually takes 2 weeks, to get the loan sold. So you settle, let's say, on the 1st of the month. It's not until about the 14th, 10th, the 14th that the loan is actually sold to that lender. Then there's a few days for it to get registered and put into their system, and then it has to transfer over to the 203K draw department. Now the draw department needs a few days to get things in line, and then they can service the draw. But the thing is, if they're backed up, it may take them 30 days. 30 days. So some people are waiting 45 and 60 days to get the first draw. And what's happening is contractors are getting frustrated. They don't want to continue the work. They stop work and say, I'm not moving until you get me my first check. So it's really important. Some of these are unavoidable evils. Sometimes they are. So it's really important to set the expectations up front, know just how long you can expect your first draw is going to take. A side technique here is it's usually good, Mr. and Mrs. Contractors out there, to submit for your first draw virtually immediately. That will get you registered as quickly as possible, even if it's a small amount. Get your first draw requested immediately. First draws, last draws usually take the most amount of time, especially the last draw. They have to check a few things, make sure that there are no mechanics liens and check the title and those type of things before they disperse the final draw. So Draws, biggest pain point, understand the time frame that you're going to run into, especially to have clear transparency with your contractors so that they know if there may be a wait for the first draw. So, does that mean that 203Ks are a bad thing? No, not at all. 203Ks are a fantastic loan. There are plenty of properties out there that just do not have the ability to pass a conforming appraisal. So you're going to need a loan that will allow you to buy it either as is or in rough shape so that you can fix it up after you settle. 203Ks, perfect loan for this. Once again, how do you avoid these pain points? Work with a lender who is experienced, who can lead you through to avoid these pitfalls, and you will have a good experience. So, 203Ks, great loan. Please go on www.203kworld.com. Check out some of my blogs, and this video is on YouTube, so please help me out. And if you like my video, click like and perhaps even subscribe to 203K World on YouTube. Thank you very much. Go out, enjoy your life, have fun, buy houses, make equity. Bye.